Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Bert's here, continuing the journey through F1 Manager 2024 as team principal Ricky Bobby under Jeangirardracing. Our boys Danny Rick and Oscar Piastri did pretty dang good last time out in Brazil. We got Vegas coming up next, round 22. Let's go ahead and check our inbox here. Post-race data. We got a couple of parts failed, not too many, just one each. We were in debt previously. We are now out of debt, but we only have about $500,000, which in this game is pennies, if I'm being honest. We got a couple weeks before vegasgp. We are manufacturing some front wings currently. And we've got our new underfloor design coming up very soon, but I'm not exactly sure if we're going to be able to afford to get a new one of those on before the GP. And we have a failed chassis with Oscar, and we're unfortunately going to have to manufacture a new one. So that's not good. And of course we've got an underfloor failed from Danny. So let's check our development. Let's check and see what we're manufacturing. We're just doing the front wing chassis, doing one of these normal. I mean, we don't even have enough for that. That's gonna take 10 days, so we will get it before Vegas, but we don't have the money for it right now. So we're unfortunately gonna have to skip ahead here, get through the next week. Let's check our inbox here. Yep, the front wing has been manufactured. Sweet, so we have a few extras of those. Skip ahead. I believe we're going to get another little payout when the next week starts, hopefully. Yep, there it goes. So let's stop this here. Alrighty. So that doesn't leave us much, though. That's really only going to give us 10 days, yeah, 7 days. So now, yeah, we still can't even afford it normally. Yeah, this isn't good, and it skyrockets in price if we need one in an emergency situation, which is the only way it gives it to us. So we might have to go back to an old spec part, unfortunately. Skip ahead again here, I guess, and let's get this new design completed. Sweet, so we've got a new underfloor design, but we've got no money to put it on. Can we? I mean, I'm gonna have to. Oh my goodness, we don't even have a. Yay. So we can see. Let's see, are we able to see? Yep, here we go. So the new underfloor helps us out quite a bit, but we cannot we can manufacture one normally. Vegas is in 5 days. It'll take 8 days. We cannot do it rushed unless we had another little bit. Yeah, this is not good. Not good at all. We are in a very similar situation to what we were at the end of last season. We're gonna have to skip ahead again here. Let's check out how the staff's doing. Yep, everyone's a little unhappy with the car performance still. That's okay. We've got some more parts, but we don't have any money to put them on. So now we are at the beginning of the GP weekend. Yay. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to go into the red here, I think, unfortunately. We don't have any of the two parts that we need. I mean, I guess we can go back to an old spec chassis with Oscar to save money. But that's obviously, as you can see, it significantly hinders our performance here. That will save us money, I think. It's the only thing we're able to do right now, I think. So let's see if I can sneak a new front wing here. So not quite. The chassis is at a medium risk. Ew. So that saves us the money from having to put a new chassis on Oscar's car, but unfortunately that's really going to hinder the performance. And if we opt to try and put a new underfloor on, it's not going to be the same boost as the chassis will. But that might give us another one. Oh my goodness. This is very, very unfortunate. 1.6, that's at least cheaper. Let's do this. I'm definitely in the negative. Put the new underfloor on Oscar's car. Let's put the other underfloor on Danny's car. So let's revert. So yeah, let's do this. Let's revert Danny back to the first chassis and put Oscar on the second chassis. So that way Oscar has pretty much all of the new components. Oops. Oscar has all of the new components on the car, which is ideal. Yeah. We're gonna want Oscar on the faster one for sure. All right, so let's see. You can see our performance here. Our top speed is not good, but Oscar's car is pretty solid, but the engine cooling is not good. So Oscar's car has got all the new components, quite a big boost. I think we need to focus on some engine cooling potentially with our side pod upgrade next. Alright, so that put us in the red, unfortunately. However, we have the newest components on Oscar's car. We only had to emergency purchase one part. Not good though, but alright, let's just keep going. I believe Vegas is going to be one stop. Yep, here we go. Circuit and weather is going to be warm and no rain. So let's check us out here to get a recap on where we are in the Constructors Championship. We've got 212 points, pretty good chunk ahead of Aston Martin, but McLaren is a pretty good ways ahead of us. So I think at this point in the season we're going to be solid P4, which is going to be awesome. We're going to get quite a good payout at the end of the season. And I believe we should have one more. Here we go, another sponsor plan. So we're going to get another payout here. So we're just going to take us out of the red, which is awesome. And we might be able to potentially get some new parts or at least manufactured, so we can get both cars back up to the most current spec of design parts. But we'll see. For now, let's go ahead and jump into it. For Danny, let's play it safe here. P14 or higher, I think. I think he's capable of also P12 or higher, but I'm not going to take that risk. Oscar, let's be a little bit more risky and go with P11 and jump into the Las Vegas Grand Prix. First introduction last year, 2023. Pretty neat track, street circuit, very low grip, very flat, high speed, not too many connecting corners. So, should be a good one. Should be a good one for our boys. I think Oscar's got a pretty good shot as long as we can stay with whatever group of cars are in front of us and stay within DRS. We might have a chance of scoring some solid points. Danny, hopefully we can keep him in the points. Most certainly. So I'm gonna go ahead and take you through these practice sessions and then I'll end the video there. Maybe I'll actually do practice and then we'll do quali and then end the video, and then I'll bring you back with a brand new video with just the race. So let's go ahead and take you through these practice sessions. Let's double check the car parts. I do want to switch to some lower units to kind of preserve the best ones that we have, mainly because we don't have too many races left and we don't want to use the best units we have available up too quickly. Let's do the same here for Danny. Yeah, let's do that one. Let's go. This one's damage. I know it's a bit higher percentage, but it does have minor damage. So in theory, this one is a bit better, even though it's not as best percentage condition-wise. And let's try this gearbox out. And we'll use probably this one for practicing over the next few races. So let's stick with... let's do the medium tire, actually. Keep it at 15. Or do the hard still. Let's do the hard. 16 laps. Up 16 laps here. Check the car setup. It looks pretty balanced, so I'm going to leave it there momentarily, and let's jump right into it. Let's go ahead and send Danny out first. Yeah, getting him down. Take the tire warmers off. Nice work, team. Alright, check. And now that he's kind of out on track, let's now send Oscar out. And I'm going to go ahead and speed this up.
Oscar, radio check.
And let's get these first set of feedbacks completed. Bring the boys back in, do a setup change, and then get back out.
Warm the tires where you can.
Copy.
How's the car feeling, mate?
At the moment, I'd say it's a bit of a struggle.
Bit of a struggle, Danny says. All right, so he's still out. Let's actually... That's only 43. Let's actually let him keep going a bit further and to get to the track comfortability up to 10%. Because the way the practice sessions work, the longer you leave them out, over time, each lap, the track acclimatization rating compounds and improves quicker and quicker the longer they are out. Oscar also not happy with the car. That's all right. It's kind of a baseline setup. We're going to leave them out just a little bit longer here. Let them get a little bit more familiar with the track. Oscar also, you can see here, since we've added that new underfloor, that is a brand new part, so he is going to have to kind of learn how that affects the car, which is pretty neat. So he's not 100% comfortable with the new part yet, but he will be hopefully by the end of this session, or actually by the end of practice. Hopefully he will be, and hopefully he doesn't wreck. That would be awesome, because we only got the one. We've only got the one, brother. And you can see this is getting up to about 12%. So let's go ahead and bring the boys. Actually, let's check how many laps they've done. Only 11. That's fine. Let's go ahead and call them in. Call both of them in. Crowder's going to come in soon. Let's go ahead and call in Piastri as well. And we'll go through the setup change live. So here comes Danny. And we're gonna go ahead and hit reconfigure here, and you can see we're quite a far ways away from pretty much everything. I personally like to go ahead and start with the rear wing angle, and when you move the bar to the right, it moves the straights tab to the left, and when you move the rear wing angle to the left, it moves it to the right. So I'm gonna go about this far in, and as I make a bit further adjustments, especially to this oversteer, so let's go ahead and do that. Actually, let's just make wing adjustments for now. So let's bring this back a bit. So you can see I had to pretty much bottom out the front wing completely flat to get back into this meter or this level here. So let's go back one more tab. Okay, let's try 12. Let's try 12 actually here. Let's bring the anti-roll over one click, so that's pretty much the balance, front and rear, with the roll bar stiffness. And that's pretty good for now, but I do want to, let's do one more click here. And I'm going to move the braking stability a bit more to the right as well. I'm going to move the tire camber to the left first, and that's going to bring the cornering oversteer to the left, but push the braking stability away to the right. And then move the braking stability, or the toe out setting to the right a little bit, and that's going to move just the braking stability and the cornering. So let's go ahead and, so after I do that, I'm going to go check my tires. I'm going to probably keep the same set of hards on. It tells me I've got about 36 laps left on those. So I'm going to do about 10 laps under that limit to about 26, 27, and pretty much leave him out the whole rest of the session there. And let's do the same for Oscar. Let's check on him. So first, let's, I guess, start with the front wing angle. Let's bottom that out. So he doesn't need quite as much as Danny, it shows. But when we move that, we will move the traction over, or the anti-roll over a bit. And let's just do the braking, or the toe out setting here. And similarly, let's check the tire life, 36. Let's put 27 on and get him out. And I'm going to speed this up to 16 so this goes as fast as possible. You can see we are running out of time in the session. That's all right, because with our fuel setting, we are going to be out there for the whole rest of the session, getting comfortable with the track and the car. So let's send Danny out and now send Oscar out. We got Oscar in a pretty good gap. Danny's also actually in a pretty good gap as well. So I'm going to let this cruise on out until the end of the session, and I'll bring you back when we finish up. All right, that's the checker flag. Practice 1 is over. We're sitting at the bottom of the pack, but that's all right. I got faith. I don't really, quantify practice timing or position too much personally. I much rather focus on getting the car set up as best as possible and getting the boys comfortable. And you can see by leaving them out for the rest of the session there on that hard tire, I got Danny almost halfway comfortable with the track. So that's pretty solid just with a single practice session. So Danny making his way around for the final seconds here. Well, essentially over already, but he's still on his little flyer. Go ahead and speed this up actually and get this knocked out. And Antonelli with the mechanical fault at the end there. Alrighty. So let's hit continue here and continue again. So you can see we got the setup satisfaction for Danny up to 57 and Oscar 64. So not too shabby. Not too shabby. And we're going to go straight to the medium perfect. Let's check the tire life, 36. So I'd usually try to do about 10 laps under. So 26 laps, but splitting that in half. But they were only out for about 10 or 11 laps the first time, getting comfortable with the car. But let's simulate kind of a higher fuel anyway, so let's do 26 laps here. I like to do that first and then come back into here, and you can see we're still quite a ways off of the straights tab. So let's go left, 2 clicks on the rear wing angle. And you can see that moves everything quite a ways away. Pretty good. I'm kind of digging that right now, honestly. Let's just check one more. So that's a bit better, but that moves my oversteer a bit far away, a little bit further than I really want to. I wish it was a bit closer. However, I can't move it any further to the left without moving my tire camber also. So let's go back to 11 here. And let's go tire camber left 1 click. And you can see I'm a bit closer here. Let's bring the braking stability over as well. Or with the toe out setting, probably 2. Let's just try 3. 3 clicks there. I'm kind of digging that. I'm a little close here with the traction setting, but I think we might be okay. We'll kind of get a better gauge after this one. So I feel comfortable with that with Danny. Same thing here with Oscar, 26 laps. Let's check on him. So we're getting close. You can see the braking stability is spot on right now. So we're dead on the money there. Let's move this down probably to 10.5, I'm guessing. Yeah, but we are a bit further away now, and I can't move this to the left anymore either. So let's move the tire camber setting over. It's still not far enough. What about the traction over to the right? That's a bit far. Yeah, it's a bit far. Kind of move this. Yeah. I don't know about that. That's possible. We'll give that a shot right there. That's stretching it. But let's see what happens.
Okay,
And let's go ahead and get Danny on out.
Now.
I like to go to the overhead here, wait for him to get around the first couple of corners, and then send out our other boy. There's another car. Boom, there we go. Let's get out in front of Max there. Nice. So we'll let them try out this new setting, get some feedback, see how they like it, and make another adjustment. So I'll let this speed on through, and I'll bring you back when we make a new adjustment. Right. So here we go. So we're close, 81%. First, let's check the tire. We got 23 laps left. So instead of doing 13, which is 10 under, let's do 15. That should be okay. And let's come back into the setup now. So we are great, optimal on the stability, great on the cornering, good, good. So let's go one more click to the left, I suppose, here. Let's bring the toe out setting over 1 and 2. What does this do for us? 2 for our... And that's not going to move it enough. So that's too far. Going that way. A bit far, but let's bring this back. Pretty good. Let's bring this back. 1. This back. Alright, let's try that actually. A little, kind of a bit opposite direction of what I was originally thinking, but let's give that a shot. That should be pretty solid. And good on the tire. Alright, and let's get Oscar set up. Yep, we know tire issue. Boom. So you can see here, we are really close. We got pretty much everything spot on except for the oversteer. And that's tricky because really the only thing that we can do, I mean, we can do many things, I would probably say, but we're going to have to change a few things simultaneously. So you can see here, if I go to the right there, it takes us that way. If I go back 1, you can see it moves the traction over minimally. Let's try that going left, and let's bring this back. Distraction. Yeah, see, it's not quite doing what I want it to do. And if I do this here, it's just a bit much, I think. Well, I guess suppose not. And okay, so that we might be onto something here. And let's go left one here. And that should dial all of our optimals back in. I dig that. And let's actually bring this back 1 to 4, 5. Perfect. And that tightens these back up a lot better there. So that is actually pretty solid. Now let's check on the tire. 23. Let's also do 15 for Oscar. And send them back out once they get reconfigured here. And hopefully that dials them in to 100%. Both of them. We will find out at the end of this session. Alright, here we go. Send Danny back out. And let's get Oscar back out now. I just want to wait for that gap there so Oscar's in clean air. Perfect. Alright, let's let this cruise on through. And I'll bring it back at the end of the session. Alright, that is session over. Our boys ended their run plan a little earlier than our time remaining in the session, but that is alright. I did not check on their progress, so we will find out here soon enough if those final adjustments were able to dial us in exactly where we need to be for the race. And then we can jump into our third practice session and then get the track comfortability topped off to 100. So we're close with Oscar, 99. I think that's about as close as we're gonna get. We'll see. I'll take a look at it here. And Danny, we are pretty dang close as well. Partly cloudy for the final practice session here. Let's go ahead and check Danny. So the traction is not good, but we're optimal and great everywhere else. So let's go. Oops. Sorry. I accidentally went left with that. I think I want to go right. No, left seems to be the better way there. Let's go left here. Let's bring the tire camber back 1 click. Actually, just leave it there and then bring the toe out over here. There we go. Well, that pushes this a bit further away. Let's see. Move this to the left. That should be good there, actually. Let's try that out. And let's see, let's just use a brand new set of softs. Let's go 17 laps. Actually, let's do 18 here. Same thing with Oscar. Check on him. Nice. So I love when we are this close and the only thing we have to change is the braking stability. Because usually if we just move the toe out just once to the right. Ooh, that's a little far actually. But let's leave it. So once to the right, that moves this over just a little bit. That does move the cornering also, but not really that much. So let's do that there. 18 laps with Oscar. And jump into it.
Sessions should be starting now.
Session is starting. There we go, both boys out on track. Alright, so now we know we're really close. I'm not going to bring them in as soon as they give me full feedback. I'm going to let them do the entire run plan here on this tire, and then we will reassess when they come back in. So I'm going to speed this up here, and I'll bring you back when we get this first little run plan finished up. All right. Ooh, not good. So Danny isn't quite there, so I went the wrong direction with that. So let's click back to the right here. One more time. Boom, there we go. And let's bring this over to the right as well. There we go. And let's go back here. Guess it doesn't really matter, it's not moving anything that much. So we'll just leave that there. That should be the final setting. So let's that's gonna be tricky because we don't know. So what I'm gonna do is, yeah, so I want to make that adjustment, but I don't really want to put a new set of tires on. I think we are 100% set up for the track now, and there's really no need for us to go out again. And I feel comfortable that those changes we just made are gonna dial it in perfectly. However, we won't know until qualifying. And that's going to throw his confidence off if he doesn't know. But it does say his prep is 93, but that's if the setup satisfaction is at 88. And if we make a change now, then that changes it. 28 minutes left. I suppose let's put on a fresh set of softs and do the same run plan with Danny. 17 or 18 laps with those changes. And let's check on Oscar now here. And there we go. 100% for Oscar. So with Oscar, I'm not going to send him back out. Really, the only benefit to sending him back out is to get a better knowledge with the car parts. But I feel with just having the setup satisfaction at 100 and the track at 100, that we should be pretty solid for the weekend. And we'll just kind of continue getting more knowledge on the new car part with Oscar when we get further into the weekend. So I'm going to return to the session now and just leave this alone here. And once Danny gets reconfigured, we'll send him back out. We don't have a lot of time remaining. We may or may not be able to get the full feedback back in time before the session ends. But let's get him back out. Here we go. Let's get the tires heated up real quick. We'll send him out aggressive. See what he can do, pushing the car a little bit here. Alright, bring it back down to standard. Uh-oh, red flag, red flag. What happened? Who done it? Well, that's gonna thwart the rest of our session. Shit. Well, that's just the way the cookie crumbles, unfortunately, sometimes. So you can see by us making that change and not obviously being able to get all the feedback, that driver prep dropped really hard. He was pretty much at 90 something as well, and it dropped down to 60. So that's very unfortunate. Not good. Not a good way to end practice with Danny there. But Oscar doing pretty good, 97. So that is going to bring us into qualifying now. But I do believe I'm going to end the video here. And I will bring you back in the next video with qualifying and the race itself. So hopefully you enjoyed this one. Just a quick little recap on practice sessions, kind of breaking the weekend apart here a little bit, see how that goes. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.